So we will start first with week 4. Then week 4 was talking about simultaneous equations. I'll just go over the main concepts again for elimination and substitution. Elimination, if you remember, if we use this example, x plus 3y is equal to 7, and y minus 4x is equal to 11. Okay, this is equation 1. This is equation 2. Simultaneous equation is basically having two equations with two unknowns. To solve this, we first have the idea is to eliminate one of them. So the first step of solving this is to order it properly, that have all the y's on top of each other. كل ال y's يكونوا فوق بعض, كل ال x's they are on top of each other, and the numbers are all together. So we'll just write these equations again, equal to 7, and then we will reorder minus 4x plus y. I'm just moving the x here and the y here, is equal to 11. All right. Now we have it all ordered. Now we choose a variable to eliminate. Always choose a variable that is easy to eliminate. يعني ما يكون there is no coefficient next to it. There ما يكون فيه رقم يمه. And then so in this case we'll just eliminate the x. Now we have to check how we can eliminate the x. Here we have a minus 4. Okay. So we have a 4. We know we need to multiply by 4 up here to eliminate. It has to be the same number. But first, we need to check the signs. Here we have plus, here we have minus. Since they are opposite signs, this will be plus. We will not add a minus for it. So obviously, if we multiply here by 4x, we'll have to multiply this by 4, I mean, and we'll have to multiply this by 4. So times 4 times 4 times 4. If we rewrite the first equation, it's going to be 4 times x plus 4 times 3y equal to 4 times 7. If we just simplify this, it's going to be 4x plus 4 times 3 is equal to 12. Y equal to 4 times 7 is 28. The second equation, we'll rewrite it, minus 4x plus y is equal to 11. This is elimination. Just to clarify, this is elimination. We have our two equations now, all ordered, all the signs are correct. So step by step, we just write them down. We're going to add everything. So 4x minus 4x. We're just writing it down directly with the signs. And then plus 12y plus y is equal to, there's an equal sign, so equal to plus 28, which is just 28, plus 11, which is just plus 11. And now we simplify. 4x minus x will be equal to 0. So this is 0 plus 12y plus y is 13y. And 28 plus 11 is 39. Now we just solve for y. So 13y is equal to 39. We divide by 13 on both sides. Y is equal to 13 and 13 cancel. Y is equal to 39 over 13, which is equal to 3. Now that we found out that y is equal to 3, y is equal to 3, we will substitute in any of the main equations. Let's substitute, for example, in the first equation, x plus 3y equals 7. So x plus 3y equal 7. We will substitute the y into the y over here. So the value will go here. X plus 3 into 3 is equal to 7. X plus 3 times 3 is 9 is equal to 7. X is equal to, we will just take the 9 to the other side. So 7 minus 9. X is equal to minus 2. And now we found our values. So x equal minus 2 and y is equal to 3. That's the solution. All right. Moving on to substitution. If we do the substitution method, let's just do the first one real quick. 3x plus 7y is equal to minus 15. And x minus 3y is equal to 11. 1, equation 2. The idea here is, again, we want to substitute. So this is substitution. Substitution method. So the idea here is we want to substitute one of these values, one of these variables back into the other equation. The idea, the technique you should do is always look for a value that does not have a coefficient, in this case the x. The x is by itself. This is not important to do, but it makes it easier to solve. In this case, x in equation 2 is by itself. There is no number next to it. يعني ما في رقم 3x or 4x or 3. So if we look at equation 2, it's x minus 3y is equal to 11. We want to put the x by itself on one side, so we will move the minus 3y to the other side. So it's going to be x is equal to 11 plus 3y. This is equation 2. All right. Now that we solved equation 2, okay, we will substitute the x here back into equation 1. Make sure you're substituting in the other equation, not the one that you solved for, in the other equation. So we have to substitute this back into equation 1. So equation 1 is 3x plus 7y is equal to minus 15. Okay. And x will be substituted with this value for x, which is 11 plus 3y. So 11 plus 3y. And then we will write the remaining equation. So this is just the x. So plus 7y is equal to minus 15. Okay. Now we just distribute the 3 into 3y and solve for y. So 3 times 11 plus 3 into 3y plus 7y is equal to minus 15. 33, which is 3 times 11, plus 3 times 3y is 9y, plus 7y is equal to minus 15. We will just take the 33 to the other side for solving purposes. 9y plus 7y is equal to minus 15 minus 33. It's plus here, so it becomes minus there. 9 plus 7 is 16. Y is equal to minus 15 minus 33 is minus 48, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, minus 48. So we divide by 16 both sides, so we can get y by itself. The 16s here will cancel, so y is equal to minus 48 over 16, which is equal to minus 3. Just double check. Yep, minus 3. الحين طلعنا ال y, we got the y value. Now we will substitute this back into this equation, the x equal to 11 plus 3y. 11 plus 3y. And we know that y is equal to minus 3. بس بنعوض, we will substitute the y here, the minus 3 into this y over here. So x is equal to 11 plus 3 times the minus 3. Okay? X is equal to 11. 3 times minus 3 is minus 9. Plus and minus becomes minus. X is equal to 11 minus 9 is 2. So we found our x value and our y value is minus 3 from before. So that is the first step. The first technique was the elimination. Second technique is substitution. Let me just see if there's any questions. إذا كان في رقمين في الx elimination أضربهم في بعض حق يصيرون مثل الشيء. Yeah, okay, good question. زين مثلا if we have I'm just making up this equation for elimination. زين إذا عندنا 2x minus 3y is equal to 5, and we have 4x plus, I don't know, 2y is equal to 10, for example. Then let's say we have this equation. Since we don't have any coefficient by itself, let's say we want to cancel x's. So the technique here, what you will do is, this is equation 1, this is equation 2. The technique here is you will multiply both of these numbers with the opposite number. يعني the 2 over here, you will multiply it with 4, and this equation here, you will multiply by 2. So this one you'll multiply by 4, and this one you'll multiply by 2. But obviously, whenever you're doing that, you're going to have to do the same for everything else. And at the same time, you need to make sure the signs are different. So here, this is plus, this is plus. Since these are the same signs, one of these you need to multiply with minus. So for example, we can multiply the up one here by minus. So this is going to be times minus 4, and anything you do, you have to do for the rest. So times minus 4 times minus 4. And this here, we're going to do times minus 2. Times minus 2 times, times plus 2, not minus 2, sorry. Then we only multiply one of them with the minus. All right, so this is going to be times 2 times 2 times 2. No worries, I'll repeat بس على السريع. What I did is, لأن عندنا 2x, we have 2x here and we have 4x here. Okay, we don't have anything that is simple to just by itself with no coefficient. So what we do is we multiply times 2 because of this 2 over here, and we multiply the above one with 4 because we have a 4 down here, if we are eliminating the x in this case, okay? But we have to also double check the signs, you know? So this is plus and plus, they're both positive. Because they're both positive, one of them needs to be minus. Any one, you can choose whichever. I prefer usually doing it with the top, so I multiply here with minus 4 instead of plus 4 for all of them. And then you just solve, and then it's done. So 2x, so if we just rewrite these equations, it's going to be minus 4 times 2x, minus 4 times minus 3y. Just make sure this is a minus 3y, and this is also multiplied by minus 4. It's equal to minus 4 times 5. All right. Second equation will be plus 2 into 4x plus 2 into 2y is equal to 2 times 10. Okay, so this is equation 1, equation 2. You can simplify them and then solve them. So if I just distribute here very, very quickly just to show you the steps, minus 8x, so minus 4 times 2 is minus 8, times x is minus 8x. Minus 4 times minus, minus times minus is plus, 4 times 3 is 12, and y, of course, is equal to minus 4 times plus 5 is minus, 4 times 5 is 20. Second, this is equation 1. Equation 2, 2 times 4x is 8x, plus 2 times 2y, both are plus, so 2 times 2 is 4 for y, equal to 2 times 10, which is 20. This is equation 2. And then you just solve these equations. You do the plus, you order them. I'm not going to go through all these steps, but I just wanted to show you that these two will cancel out now, which is minus 8x plus 8x is going to be equal to 0, and you will just be left with the plus 12y plus 4y and the remaining, and then you can solve for y. So it's going to be like plus 12y plus 4y, and then you can just solve. All right? Did that answer your question, Hawra? So what you're going to do is multiply, again, I'm just going to repeat very quickly. You're going to multiply with the coefficient of each equation. Like this is 2, so you're going to multiply the bottom one with 2 and the top one with 4. And you got to double check always the signs. If this is plus and this is plus, you're going to have to multiply one of the equations, only one, with a minus sign. All right? The last step you did was to check if the answer is right, or is it a necessary step? I'm guessing you're asking about this for substitution. You have to do it because هني احنا طلعنا ال y value. We found our y here. يوم نحصل ال y, we still need to find our x. We didn't solve for x, so we have to put this back into this equation to solve for x, to find the value of x. So the final answer is going to be this. This is our final answer. We need to find x and y. That's why we substituted it back. If you want to check, you can always check all your values. You go back to the original question. You plug in your x. In this case, our x is 2 and y is equal to minus 3. So you will plug in x equal 2 and y is equal to minus 3 into both equations and see if the left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side. Yani, for example, 3 into 2 plus 7 into minus 3, it should be equal to minus 15. So when we solve this, 3 times 2 is 6, plus into minus is negative, so 7 times 3 is 21, should be equal to minus 15. If you check in the calculator, this is minus 15 is equal to minus 15, so our work is correct. And do the same for equation 2. So x minus 3y is equal to 11. We're going to just substitute again to double check, which is 2 minus 3 into minus 3 لأن y is minus 3 وبعد في minus في equation is equal to 11. We need to make sure that this is equal to 11. So 2 and 2 is just 2. Minus 3 minus times minus is plus. 3 times 3 is 9 equal to 11. So 11 equal to 11. It's also correct. This part over here, this is just checking. This is not a part of the solution. This is just checking that your values are correct, okay? This is equation 1. This is equation 2. And then moving on let's do one example really quickly with square, يعني with a quadratic equation. We're going to do just part A. Or you know what? We did part A in the previous examples. Let's do part B. So elimination method is exactly the same. Okay, elimination method is exactly the same. Nothing changes. You just order all the equations. But the reason I want to do part B is because part B, there's a trick. Okay, so it's x squared plus y squared is equal to 25. Y is equal to 2x minus 2. Okay. لو تلاحظون, if you notice, this is equation 1, equation 2. If you notice, we don't have any x squared or y squared at the bottom, and we don't have, and we have x squared and y squared in the top. So to solve this, all you have to do is you're going to have to square equation 2. So equation 2 will be squared. What does that mean? That means y is going to be squared. Everything on the left-hand side will be squared. But 2x minus 2 will also be squared. The reason we do this is so we can eliminate one of the variables in this case. This is only for this case. يعني this is a special case where يعني ما عندكم يعني عندكم squared in both equation 1s وما عندكم ولا squared in both equation 2s. So how do you do this? You just, like I said, you square the equation, the second equation, the ones without the squared, so you can eliminate the y squared in this scenario. So if we continue, so basically this is y squared is equal to any number squared. Let's say a squared is basically equal to a times a. Yani 2 squared is equal to 2 times 2. 4 squared is equal to 4 times 4. I'm pretty sure all of you know that. So 2x minus 2 squared is simply 2x minus 2 times 2x minus 2. And then you're just going to do distribution to solve this equation. Okay? So y squared is equal to 2x times 2x, distribution 1, plus 2x times minus 2, distribution 2, plus, now for the second value, which is minus 2 actually, so this is going to be minus 2 times 2x, minus 2 times, so 2 times 2x, and minus 2 times minus 2. And that's it. And then you start solving this equation. So y squared is equal to 2x times 2x, which is 2 times 2 is 4. X times x is x squared, plus 2x times minus 2, since there's a plus and a minus, plus and minus. So plus and minus gives us minus. 2x times 2 is just 4x. Minus 2 times 2, plus and minus, minus and plus again gives us minus 4x. 2 times 2 is 4x. And then minus 2 times minus 2, minus and minus gives us plus. 2 times 2 is 4. Okay? Just simplifying it a bit more, 4x squared minus 4x, minus 4x and minus 4x is actually minus 8x. So minus 4x, that's how we got the minus 8x plus 4. Now we go back and just put, this is equation 2. This, what we did is for equation 2, because we did this squared for equation 2. So we squared equation 2. So we're going to rewrite equation 1 and equation 2. So equation 1 is x squared plus y squared equal 25. X squared plus y squared is equal to 25. And then we will write this equation 2 over here. So y squared is equal to 4x squared minus 8x plus 4. Equation 1, equation 2. طبعا this is all because we need to do it elimination. This is because we're doing elimination method. In substitution, it is much simpler. All you have to do is just substitute this y value into the y squared, which I will show you very quickly at the end. So x squared plus y squared equal 25. What is the rule in elimination? Elimination, we need to order everything. So what I like to do is take all my x's, put them on the left side, and order them properly. So we'll do this step by step. So we have the top equation, x squared plus y squared equals 25. Here, we're going to have y squared. We're going to take the 4x minus 4x squared. And here it's plus, it's going to become minus. And we're going to take the minus 8x, which will become plus 8x, is equal to 4. Okay? All I did here was just rearrange the equation. عشان all my x's are on one side, and all my numbers are on the other side. Further rearrangement, I'm just going to write x squared plus, I'm going to leave a gap, actually. Okay. Plus y squared is equal to, please mute your mics, plus 25. Y, and now we're going to reorder لأن لازم الx's يكونون تحت x squared, they have to be under x squared, while y squared has to be under y squared. So to do that, we just reorder. So minus 4x squared. And I just put the minus 4x squared here, plus 8x. زين. Plus y squared. The reason I left a gap لأن on the top ما عندنا anything, just x by itself, so I just left it as a gap, okay? Equal to 4. Noor, can you please just mute your mic? Thank you. Now, if we just move on, now we have our equation 1. Now we have our equation 2. Okay, and now we just solve. So how do we do elimination? We look at the variable that is alone. In this case, y squared is alone. Then x is here, we have x squared and x, but we don't have that on the top. So we just look at the y squared, which is just by itself. The steps, like I said, first you check the signs. Oh, first you check the coefficients. This is 1 and 1, so you don't have to multiply with anything. Because this is plus and this is plus, we just have to multiply one of these equations with -1. So we'll just multiply the top equation with -1 to change the sign. Okay. Rewriting that equation is going to be minus x squared minus y squared is equal to minus 25. Simple. I just multiplied by -1 because the signs are the same and we want to eliminate y. And then we rewrite equation 2, which is minus 4x squared plus 8x minus, plus y squared is equal to 4. And now we just add. Okay, this is equation 1, equation 2. We just add step by step, minus x squared minus 4x squared. We have nothing here, so we leave it empty. We don't write anything. Plus 8x minus y squared plus y squared is equal to, and then we have an equal sign, minus 25 plus 4. Done. So obviously you can notice here, y squared or minus y squared will be equal to 0. So it's going to be minus x squared minus 4x squared plus 8x minus 0, just to clarify, equal to minus 25 plus 4. And then this is equal to minus 21, just so you know from now. Minus x squared minus 4x. Minus x squared minus 4x is minus 5x squared. So we're just going to rewrite the equation. Minus 5x squared plus 8x is equal to minus 21. To solve a quadratic equation, it has to be in this form, which is ax squared plus bx plus c equal 0. So we need to have a 0 on the right-hand side. Just move this to this side. So minus 5x squared plus 8x minus becomes plus 21 is equal to 0. Okay. Now, to solve this using quadratic, mod 5(3), or the way I like to do it, x1, x2. And then I will just go through this concept really quickly once, and then I'm not going to do it again, Ashan, for time. So x1 is equal to minus b plus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a, and oops, and you just, the same exact equation is going to be for x2. x2 is equal to this, but instead of plus, this is going to be minus. Okay, so now our a value we know is equal to minus 5, our b value is equal to 8, and our c value is equal to 21. This is our a value, this is our b value, and this is our c value. Okay, obviously with the signs. So this is a, this is b, and this is c. Okay, plugging in back into x1 and x2. So x1 is going to be equal to b is 8, so minus b is minus 8 plus square root of 8 squared minus 4 times a, which is minus 5, and c, which is 21. طبعا again, you could just do mod 5(3), but I'm just showing you the way of showing the steps, over 2 into minus 5. And then x2 is going to be the exact same thing. Okay, the exact same thing, but instead of plus, it is going to be minus. Okay, and then you can plug into the calculator or modify 3 to double check. Minus 8 plus square root of 8 squared minus 4 times a times c. Make sure when you're putting it in the calculator, if you're using this method, to do the exact same thing I'm doing, putting the parentheses everywhere in the calculator, عشان you don't make a mistake with the signs or anything like that. All right, divided by 2 into minus 5. So our first value is going to be minus 1.4. And then the second one is minus 8 minus square root. If someone can just double check if I'm doing it correctly, minus 5, 21. Yani by using mod 5.3 if you want, but 2 minus 5. This is going to be equal to 3. This is what I got. Moving on, so now we found our x1 value is equal to minus 1.4, and x2 is equal to 3. Okay? And then an x1 and then an x2. Now what do? We just choose one of these equations from the beginning, very beginning, من السؤال. We just choose one of the equations, choose the one that looks simpler to substitute in to find your y1 and y2 values. So we just are going to use this equation. This is equation 2. And we plug in x1 and then we plug in x2 to find the y. So y1 is equal to 2x1 minus 2. بما معناه y1 is equal to 2 into minus 1.4 minus 2. y1 is equal to 2 times minus 1.4 is minus 2.8. Minus 2.8 minus 2, which is equal to y1 is equal to minus 4.8. y2, exactly the same thing, is equal to 2x2 minus 2. So y2 is equal to 2 into 3 minus 2. y2 is equal to 6 minus 2. y2 is equal to 4. And that's it. That's how you solve it. Okay? Very straightforward, very simple. The reason only I solved this specifically, this part, this beginning, this is just the trick if you have all squared in the top and no squared at the bottom. Just want to clarify again the elimination method steps for a quadratic equation. Make sure you're lining up the y squared by itself or the y's by themselves and not the x's or depending on the situation. يعني إن بما معناه ال y's wherever they're by themselves and you know they will get eliminated, all the y's you line them up, or all the x's you will line them up. In this case you cannot eliminate all the x's لأن عندنا 8x, we don't have a proper normal x there. So anything that's just y squared or just y by itself, you focus on those to eliminate, and then just exactly the same elimination method that we did earlier. So this is week 4, all of the questions that you need to know. Simultaneous equation solving. The word problems I already did previously. I'm not going to do any word problems today, and I explained them all. If you have specific questions, we can cover it later. Let's move on to week 5. So week 5 is graphing. Okay, determine the following. Okay, these are very easy questions. I'm going to try to go very quickly through them. Determine the below given ordered pair. All you have to do is you know that when you have a coordinate, this is x and this is y. So for part A, the x value is 9. X is equal to 9 and y is equal to minus 1. And then you will just substitute in the equation x minus 3y is equal to 6. You will substitute the 9 in the x, and the minus 1 into the y. فبيكون 9 minus 3 into minus 1 is equal to 6. Okay, and just do the math. Minus times minus is plus. 3 times 1 is 3 is equal to 6. Sorry, what am I doing here? Hey, where the idea here is we are trying to determine in the below ordered pair is a solution to the equation x minus 3y equals 6. And then, so بما معناه, it's asking is this a solution or not. And then for x minus 3y equals 6, عوضنا 9 عوضنا 3 عوضنا minus 1, sorry. And then عوضنا شفنا ان 9 plus 3 الحين we have to see if the left hand side is equal to the right hand side. 9 plus 3 is 12. 12 equal to 6? Nope. So this is not a solution. Same thing you will do with 4 and minus 2. If the left and right side are correct, it is a solution. If it's not a solution. Very simple. All right. Moving on. Same idea here. I'm just going to cover this very quickly. And then we have a table. Okay. We have equation. The equation is 3x minus y equal 4. تعويض. So we have for the first part, x is equal to 1. So x equal 1. And نعوض for the equation 3 into 1 minus y is equal to 4. So we'll 3 minus 1 equal 4. We'll take the 3 to the other side. So minus y is equal to 4 minus 3. So minus y is equal to 1. Is equal to just 1. Okay. Divide by minus 1 on both sides to cancel the minus. Minus is cancelled. Y is equal to minus 1. So y is minus 1. Xy is simply just 1 minus 1. And you will do the exact same thing for the rest. If you have y, you'll just substitute y instead of y. If you have 0 for x, you'll substitute it instead of x, and you'll find the same answer. In the first question, how do I know if it's a solution or not? I'll repeat. You see at the end after solving, okay, after substituting x and y into the equation. When we solved it, we got the left-hand side, we got 12. 9 plus 3 is equal to 12. And the right-hand side, we got 6. So they are not equal to each other. Because they're not equal to, this is not a solution. This is not correct. So no, not a solution. All right? That's the idea. And the left-hand side has to be equal to the right-hand side. You have to substitute each one. Yeah, I'll do that very quickly. X minus 3y equals 6. هني x equal 4 y equal minus 2 حق B وحق C x equal 0 y is equal to minus 2. This can have multiple solutions, by the way. Okay, so if we substitute الحين x equal 4 for x, and then if we substitute x equal 4 for x in this equation, I'm just going to do it here. 4 for x minus 3y, which is 3 into minus 2, is equal to 6. This is going to be, if we just do 4 minus 3 and minus 2 is plus. So minus and minus is plus. 3 times 2 is 6 is equal to 6. If we add these, 4 and 6 is 10 equals 6. Is this correct? Nope. So A is not a solution. B is not a solution. If we do part C, 0 minus 3y, which is minus 2, بس تعويض is equal to 6, implies 0 minus and minus is plus, so plus 6 equals 6. So is 6 equal to 6? Yes. So this is correct. Yes, correct. So C is the ordered pair solution between all of these. All right? That's how we find the solution, which one is correct. Now, moving on, just very quickly, this is all very, very straightforward. تعويض فهني find the point with x coordinate 3. فيعطينا يقول لنا x is equal to 3. زين. Substitute for x here 3, for x here 3, for x here 3, and find the y. I'll just do the first example. So y is equal to 6 minus 2x. We will substitute 3 into the x. So y is equal to 6 minus 2 into 3. Y is equal to 6 minus 2 into plus. So minus 2 times 3 is 6. So minus 6. So y is equal to 0. So our first point is x equals 3, y equals 0, or 3, 0. Okay. So this is the point with the x coordinate. They are asking find the point with the x coordinate of 3. So this is our x value and this is our y value. You'll do the exact same thing for the remaining parts. Very straightforward. Graphing. Let's go do one example very quickly from here and one example from there. So graphing. The steps for graphing is we'll take a y equal 12 minus 3x. Then y equal 12 minus 3x. What is the step for graphing this? First step, y-intercept. What does the y-intercept mean? X equals 0. هاي خلاص لازم كلكم تكونوا فاهمين هالشيء. You need to understand this. When you say y-intercept, x equals 0. And then we substitute in the equation. So y is equal to 12 minus 3x, which is 0. Y is going to be, this is going to be 0. So y is just going to be equal to 12. So now we found our first point where x is 0, y is 12. we'll do the exact same thing. X-intercept now, which is when y is equal to 0. Y is equal to 0, so 0 is equal to 12 minus 3x, because we want to find the x and we know the y is 0. To solve this, we will just move the 12 to the other side. Minus 12 is equal to minus 3x. I'm going to just reorder this. I'm going to write minus 3x is equal to minus 12. It's the same exact thing. Divide by minus 3. Divide by minus 3. X is going to be equal to minus and minus will cancel. So 12 over 3, which is equal to 4. So our second point is 4, 0. This is our x. This is our y. We got our 2 points. This is our x. This is our y. We got our 2 points. Now, let's call this point number 1 and this point number 2. Okay. We want to plot this. And okay, if we want to plot this now, we just plot the points. So point 1 is 0, x is equal to 0, y is equal to 12. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's say this is 12. Okay, 12. That's our first point, which is 0, 12, 0, 12. And then our second point, 4, 0, 4, 0, 1, 2, 0 on the y. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This point over here, which is 4. Okay. Or you could just call it's the point coordinates are 4, 0. If we want to plot our graph, it has to go through both points and to look something تقريبا like this. All right. Almost يعني. زين. But that's the whole point. That's the whole idea. And it's going to be going through both points. Okay. So this is your graph. This is your final graph. We just sketched it. Again, I'll repeat the steps. You find y-intercept, which is x equals 0. Find your coordinate, your point. X-intercept, y equals 0. You find your point. You don't have to necessarily find x وال y-intercept. You can يعني substitute x equal 1, x equal 2 على راحتكم. But this is this يعني most straightforward and easy way. لكن I want to go to there's an example يعني الحين we'll see this case. Just put this here. لو تلاحظون هني في أول شيء we will start with C and then I'll work my way back. إنزين. For part C, y is equal to 2x. When you find the x-intercept or y-intercept here, زين معناته x equals 0. You find that y is equal to 2 times 0, which is 0. So already our first point is 0, 0. Okay. فلو سوينا طبعا الاكس intercept, it's the same thing لان we're going to say y is equal to 0 when y equals 0, x equals 0. We already know that y is 0, 0. So when we get a point that is 0, 0, very easy, do not panic, just take another point, x equals 1. عادي. And then substitute in the equation, so y is equal to 2 times 1. So y is equal to 2. So our second point is 1, 2. This is point number 1. This is point number 2. Done. Very easy, very straightforward if we plot them. Okay. Then if we plot them, plot point number 1, which is 0, 0. 0, 0 is right in the center of the coordinate system. 1, 2, you go x to number 1. This is 1. And then you go up to 2, which is here, and you plot this point. So x1, 2, this is 1, 2, 0.12. This is 0.00. Okay? لأن this is our y and this is our x. Obviously, يعني you guys should all know that by now. زين. Now, to draw the graph, to draw the line, sorry, نفس الشيء بالضبط. You just draw a line between that's going through both these points, and that's it. زين. تقريبا يعني. There was someone who had a question. Just 1 second. أعدل هذا. And then تقريبا this is how it's going to look like. How do I know if the question wants me to do the 4 steps or just directly do the table? Which 4 steps? There's قصدي I didn't understand your question. يعني ال 4 steps, which 4 steps in of plotting. لأن ال plotting is في ال plotting في ال straight line you just have 2 steps. You find the y-intercept, the x-intercept, and then plot the points. That's it. Or you could say 3 steps with plotting the points يعني. And then the 4th step is drawing the line, if that's what you're asking. السؤال نفسه I don't think يعني if you're talking about the table, I'm guessing you're talking about يعني finding x equals 0, x equal 1, x equal 2, x equal 3. You do not need to do all of that in my opinion. I don't know if el doctor wants you to do that. But this one, it's much better if you check with your teacher. But for any straight line, you only need 2 points. For any straight line, you only need 2 points to plot them. You do not need more than 2 points. You can put more than 2 points, but they will fall along this line. يعني all of them will be along this line. So you don't have to you don't really need, يعني you're just wasting time by getting more than 1 point. If the doctor نفسه or يعني the teacher, she or he wants you to do that, that's a different situation and I'm not sure about that. ولكن to plot a line, to draw to the يعني a line, any straight line, you only need 2 points. All right? I don't know how to answer that question لأن هذا على حسب الدكتور وعلى حسب how they want to test you. انزين I believe it's multiple choice, so I think they're going to give you a table and maybe you'll fill it or something like that. يعني إنه مو multiple choice, إنه online, what I mean, on Moodle if I'm not mistaken امتحان. check the questions on the mock exam, see how they are, and يعني that will answer your question. Why is x equal -1 for x is not equal to -1? Where is x equal to -1? X is equal to 1. x هني equal to 1. يعني what we did is y equal to x. عوضنا 1 لأنه we cannot put a 0. We already got 0, 0. عوضنا 1 for x. For y is equal to 2 times x, which is 2 times 1. Y is equal to 2. And then y here it's 1 and 2. Positive, not negative. Okay. Just to cover these points quickly as well. If we have, let's say this, x equal -3. زين. For x equal -3, for x equal -3, x equal -3. بما معناه you go to the x-axis, you go to -3. سهل صح? You go, oh sorry, -3 لأن minus, it's going to be the other side. You're going to go to the y-axis, or the x-axis rather. You will go to the x-axis and you'll go for -3. So this is -3. Best, and you will draw a straight line through -3. A vertical straight line through -3. That's it. Okay? That's what x equal -3 as a line looks like. نفس الشيء حق y. For example, let's say the question I think was 5y is equal to 20. So what you will do is you will solve for y. So y is equal to divide by 5 on both sides. Y is equal to 20 over 5, which is 4. So you'll go to y is equal to 4, which is here. Y is equal to 4. And you will draw a horizontal straight line. That's it. Okay? Simple, very simple. If you just have x or just y, you're going to go to that point and you're going to draw a line straight through it. فيعني في حالة ال y, it's a horizontal, and في حالة ال x, it's a vertical line. All right? Moving on. Gradient وهالسوالف انزين. I'm just gonna do this one. This one is without drawing. You guys need to know it without drawing. Very simple point. I'm just going to go through, before I solve this, I'm just going to give you the يعني تلخيص. Equation of a line is y is equal to mx plus c. M is the slope or the gradient. Well, c is the y-intercept. Y-intercept. In other words, it's y when x equal 0. صح ولا لا؟ زين, that's what the y-intercept is. M, C, we know how to find it. We just put when x equals 0 or from the graph or whatever, and then we will look at an example. M, the equation is y2 minus y1. You need 2 points, obviously. x2 minus x1. So this is the y2 of the, يعني the first point minus the second point, the y values and the x values of it. And so this is the formula of finding y, for finding the يعني the line. Now let's go through the concepts. use the formula to find the gradient. So they want us to find the gradient of these lines without drawing. So we have -2 and -2 and 4 and 1. So -2, -2, our first point, point 1. Point 2 is 4, 1. Okay? So this is point 1, and this is point 2. So this is y2, this is x2, y2, and this is x1, y1. فيوم نروح نكتب ال m equation, m is equal to ال y2 بيكون x2 زين ال y2 minus y1 over minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, is equal to, in this case, ال y2 شو عندنا 1 minus شنو ال y1 minus 1 ف open parentheses حطوا minus 1 minus 2. Okay, minus 2 over x2, which is 4, minus, again, there is a negative sign inside, so -2 for x1. Okay, and then we solve. For m is equal to 1 minus or minus is 2 plus 2, 4 minus or minus bad is 2 plus 2, so 3, 1 plus 2 is 3, 4 plus 2 is 6, which is 1 over 2. Our m is equal to half. Simple. Okay, this is how you find the gradient or the slope of anything, of any line. You take 2 points, whether from a graph, whether from it's given, whether whatever, you have to have 2 points, 2 coordinates, and then you just apply this equation. Done. تمام. Let's say, just for added measure الحين, let's say find the intercept of this, of the same points. إنزين. فالequation مالنا is y equal mx plus c. صح؟ إنزين. So we have the m value. We found the m. خلصنا منه. We just need to find the c. We don't know what c is. How do you do it just having these points? Very simple. Let's choose point number 2. You need to choose 1 point. So let's choose point number 2. So now we know, first of all, m is equal to 1 over 2. We know that the y in point number 2 الحين y يساوي 1 والx يساوي 4. Okay, it's equal to 1 equal to 4. وبنعوض في equation. يعني we'll substitute all of this in the equation. So y is equal to 1 is equal to m, which is half, times x, which is 4, plus c. And now we can just find c. So 1 is equal to half times 4, which is يعني half times 4, 4 over 2, which is equal to 2, plus c. We'll just take the 2 to the other side. So 1 minus 2 is equal to c. C is equal to 1 minus 2, which is minus 1. That's it. And we found our c, just from the points. So I repeat, you just choose a single point here after finding the slope. You choose a single point, you substitute it back in the equation of a line. الام يساوي طلعنا الام يساوي نص، الواي عرفنا هني عندنا بوينت يساوي 1 والاكس يساوي 4. بنعوض كلهم في الايكويشن اللي عندنا هني اللي هو y equal mx plus c. زين، بنعوض كل فاليو في مكانه we will solve for c. تمام. So this is the main concept of any solution, يعني any solving for a line. And I'll just do one more example of finding it through this. Then the time is running out. ساعة كملت and I'm still in week 5. Find the gradient of each of the lines. زين. Each of these lines. Gradient, how do you find it? You just take 2 points. So let's take this point, for example, and this point up here. زين. This point is, you can use any for this questions. For this question, you can use 4, 1 or -2, -2. You can choose any. I just chose 4, 1. على كيفي. If you choose -2 and -2, it will work out exactly the same way. C will be the exact same number. Okay, so you can choose any point. You don't have to choose 2. And then, so we'll just take 2 points. You have to always have 2 points to find the gradient, which is the slope. So this is 4 for the x, and then 4, and the y part is 3. If you look at that, it's 3. Okay. This one, if we look at this, it's at 5. So this is the first point, point 1. This is point 2, which is 5 for x, and the y value is 8. So we found our 2 points. apply equation of a slope m y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and that's it. Okay, I'm not going to plug it in for the time, but this is the whole concept. So you just take 2 points. For example, this is your y2 x2 y2, and this is your x1 y1. Okay, that's it, and done. This is x1. Let's move on. This is all of week 5, يعني the key concepts. Let's just do one question for you can use rise and run method here. It's the exact same thing. Just so you guys know, يعني أنا اتعلمت rise run. Rise over run, يعني slope is equal to the rise over the run. الرايز اللي هو بما معناه if we have the triangle يعني انزين ده كذي for whoever wants to know. This is the rise and this is the run. زين. how do you find this distance? This is going to be your x. يعني مثلا هني مثلا let's take actual numbers. زين هذا مثلا 2 هذا 5 فبتسوون 5 minus 2 زين وهذا يعني مثلا 4 وهذا 10 10 minus 4 to find the rise rise is equal to 10 minus 4 run is equal to 5 minus 2 and then you will just plug and run rise and run in the equation and you will find your m. This is for people who want to do rise over run. You can always use just this method if that confuses you. Okay, moving on to quadratic. Plotting a parabola. Plotting a parabola, 4 steps, 4 main steps. This says just find the axis of symmetry. Let's see if there's a question that actually asks find and sketch. Okay, this one does. عشان I do a different question and I think I solved all of that. انزين بناخذ the first question. Y is equal to 18 plus 3x minus x squared. Just a reminder, a parabola is like this. Okay, this is what is called the turning point. Turning point. The line that is going straight between a parabola, yani that is splitting it in half. This is called the axis of symmetry. زين. And it's in the shape of a U or an N. The shape of a U يعني happy زين is positive. A is positive, the A value, and sad or N shape negative. Then when you're negative, you're feeling sad. When you're positive, you're feeling happy. So when A is negative, which we will see now, and then it is downwards. When A is positive, it is upwards. Okay. Now let's start into the solving. So this is part A. أول شيء first step, always rearrange it properly in a quadratic. So يعني x squared first. So minus x squared plus 3x plus 18. Just arrange it from x squared يعني to x and then 18. This is just to simplify everything. Now, step number 1, y-intercept. Y-intercept, what does that mean? X equals 0. فبنعوض x equals 0 بيكون عندنا minus 0 squared plus 3 to 0 plus 18. This is 0. This is 0. Y is equal to 18. Okay, done. Our first point is 0, 18. Second thing, x-intercept. When y is equal to 0. So 0 is equal to minus x squared plus 3x plus 18. Just this equation, but y is equal to 0. I'm going to rewrite it so that the 0 is on the right side. Plus 3x plus 18 is equal to 0. This is in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. A is in. Remember when I said A is positive or A is negative here? This is the A I'm talking about. اللي هو الvalue هني. So in this case, our A is equal to minus 1, our B is equal to 3, and our C is equal to 18. Okay. A is minus 1. So is it going to be U or N? Sad or happy? It's negative, so it's going to be sad. And then, so we know that the parabola is going to be in this shape because A is negative. Because it's negative, it's going to be in this shape. Okay. Now, to solve it, it's a quadratic equation. I'm just going to do a mod 5.3 really quickly. Okay. So our A is minus 1, our B is 3, our C is 18. X1 is going to be equal to 6, and X2 is going to be equal to minus 3. Okay, so we found our x1 value and x2 value. Obviously, the y's are equal to 0 in both cases. y1 and y2 is equal to 0. لأن y is equal to 0. We are finding it for y equal to 0. So our 2 points are 6 or minus 3, 0, and 6, 0. These are two x-intercepts. Then, so first step was finding y-intercept. We found our point. Now we found our x-intercepts, which are 2 points. Step 3. Step 3. We find our axis of symmetry. بما معناه we find x is equal to minus b over 2a. Okay? Minus b over 2a, what does that mean? Minus b, this b over here, a is over here. نفس ال a will be for x is equal to minus, what is our b value? 3. What is our a value? 2 into minus 1, which is equal to minus 3, and then over 2 times minus 1 is minus 2. We have minus and minus, so it will become positive 3 over 2. And then if you get too confused about the minuses here, just put it in the calculator with the minuses just in this form and it will come out. So 3 over 2 or 1.5. And then that is our x. Now we find our turning point. Our turning point is substituting x in the equation, using this x to find y. عشان we find our xy coordinate. All right? To do that, we just take this equation, the same exact equation here. Then this is the equation. We're just going to substitute this x value, اللي هو 3 over 2 or 1.5, and then we are going to substitute it for the x's in here. And then, so y, and we'll find the y value. So y is equal to minus 3 over 2 squared plus 3 into 3 over 2 plus 18. Y is equal to minus 9 over 4. 3 squared is 9. 2 squared is 4. Plus 3 times 3 is 9 over 2 plus 18. If it's confusing, just put this equation all in the calculator and find it. Minus 9 over 4. Minus 9 over 4 plus 9 over 2, which is 4.5, plus 18. Answer will be 81 over 4, which is also equal to 20.25. So our coordinate is going to be x, which is 3 over 2 or 1.5, which is 3 over 2, and 20, our y is 20.25, which is 81 over 4. Tamam? And now, since we have all the values, we found all our values, we can plot. So now we draw our plot. Oof, 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 oof. Okay. And then this is our x-axis, this is our y-axis. First thing we do is put our intercept points. What are our intercept points? This is our intercept points, okay? So 0, 18, y-intercept, 0, 18. X-intercepts, we have two x-intercepts. We know the y value is 0 for both, okay? If we look at them again, minus 3, 0, and 6, 0. So minus 3, 0, and 6, 0, okay? These are both our x-intercepts. And then our turning point is simply 1.5, or was it minus 1.5 and 20.25. So now we have all the points that we need. We first plot our y-intercept. So our y-intercept is going to be red, and our x-intercepts are also going to be red. Let's keep them also red. And or sorry, this is 2. Then, and then our turning point is going to be blue. Okay, so this is our turning point. Our turning point is, our first point is the y-intercept, which is 0, 18. So we go to the y-axis, 0. Let's say this is 18. All right. X-intercept and y-intercept, so minus 3 and 6. Okay. So these are all our points. Yani we know the graph has to go through all of these points. Now, what is our turning point? Our turning point is 1.5. So تقريبا يعني let's say it's just 1 second. زين almost يعني you could say 1.5 is here in the middle because this is 1. And then 20.25 is going to be a bit higher than this. So let's say around here. Then this is 20.25. Okay. So our turning point is going to be somewhere roughly around here. Tamam? And now we can just draw the graph. Okay, we can just draw the graph, which is going to look something like this. We start from the turning point and we draw a curve. تقريبا يعني. This is supposed to be a bit more curvier, بس يعني, and then a curve down here. And this is what the graph will kind of look like. And then, so again, repeating quickly, step 1, y-intercept. Step 2, x-intercept. Step 3, axis of symmetry, which is finding the x when equal to minus b over 2a. Step 4, plugging in the value for x back into the main equation to find our turning point coordinates, which is 1.5, 20.25. And that's it. That's it for quadratic. Last week, which is week 6, or week 7, sorry, simultaneous equations. I'm gonna just go directly into a linear and a quadratic if you want. عشان يعني it's the same exact concept. You know what? Linear والquadratic أو simultaneous equations, they're very simple. السولوشن مالهم, I'm just gonna go very quickly through it. If you need more يعني description وها تقدرون watch the videos that we have posted. We clarified everything there. بس على السريع, I want to just explain this. First step of it is exactly the exact same thing. So we have two equations, part A. We have two equations. We have y is equal to x squared minus 2x minus 3. And we have y is equal to 2x minus 3. So this is equation 1. Equation 2. Equation 1 is quadratic. Equation 2 is linear. Plotting, to plot these, okay, graphically to plot these, you follow the exact same steps from week 6 and this from week 5. The exact same steps, finding the x-intercept, y-intercept, in this case also the axis of symmetry and all of that. That's all you do for graphing. But the point I need to get to here is when you solve these simultaneous equations, the final values of x and y that you get, and then after solving these, x values our coordinates are the intersection points between the two graphs. Okay, so that's what the x and y's you can find. And in a case of quadratic, you might have x1, y1, and x2, y2. Yani there are 2 points of intersection, or 1 point of intersection, or no intersection, no solution. This, they call it also the solution. Yani either the intersection points or the solution. Then it's basically solving the linear equations, okay? So this is the most important point of simultaneous, or having two graphs, is to know that when you solve the simultaneous equation, you will get the intersection points. To show this as an example, يعني مثلا for a linear equation, زين. So if you solve now you know how to find the equation of these lines, okay? To find the equation of these lines from the graph, you will do this one separately and then this one separately. كأن الثاني مو موجود. إنزين? You will just solve it separately. Take 2 points, find the slope, find the intercept, find the equation of the line for each one separately. Then, if you do the solving as a simultaneous equation, the x and y value will be this point, the intersection point. Then, when you do the simultaneous equation solving of equation 1 and equation 2, the x will y اللي بيطلع لكم for a linear equation is going to be this point over here. Okay, that's the whole idea. And in these cases, for quadratic, إذا عندكم one quadratic and one linear, as you can see, in this case, there is no intersection. ما في intersection بين lines. Then this is the quadratic. The quadratic will keep going up, up, up. وهني line, it's going to keep going in that direction. It's not going to ever intersect. So this is, in this case, they call this no solution. Then ما في point of intersection. Okay? In this case, there is only one point of intersection. the only time you can have only exactly one point of intersection, معناته there's one solution. It is when the intersection point أو السولوشن يعني is equal to the turning point coordinates. The turning point. And as you notice here, this is our turning point. This is the only time you can have only one solution. In the case of only one solution, يعني بس في one intersection point. إنزين معناته ال x وال y is equal to the x and y of the turning point. So this is our turning point x and y. تمام? Last but not least, I will get back to the first one, no worries. Last but not least, when you have an equation with يعني normal, which is expected, which is most common, you could say, إن عندكم double intersection points. يعني هنا we have this intersection point and we have this intersection point. We have two solutions. So we have x1, y1, our first solution, or x2, y2, our second solution when we solve the simultaneous equations. تمام? This is it. This is everything. In a bit, I'll just take a bit of a break, but I'll just re-explain this. الحين A, part A, the reason this is no solution. ليش؟ لأن لو تلاحظون هني there is no intersection، يعني ما قاعد اللاين الوردي ما قاعد يضرب اللاين الأزرق في any point. إذا شفنا هني اللاين الوردي will keep going upwards واللاين الأزرق it will keep going يعني sideways. They will never intersect at any point. إنزين؟ Because they are not ever going to intersect، يعني this is going to go all the way here, all the way here. They will never intersect. لأن there is no intersection point, no intersection، فمعناته no solution الجواب ماله. That's the idea of the first graph. لأن ما قاعدين يضربون بعض at any point معناته there is no intersection. تمام؟ One more point I want to mention. In the case of B, يعني one solution, one of the lines, the other line, the linear line has to be horizontal. Linear line is always horizontal. You don't need to know this بس يعني it helps you understand يعني شوي أكثر. فالlinear line is always going to be horizontal لأنه بيكون with the turning point لا. فبالمنطق يعني it can only intersect it when it's horizontal. لأن if it was at a slope or an angle at any point كذي بيكون لازم يكون في double intersection points أو in this case no solution. زين. And this is it. We'll take a 5-minute break. زين. And inshallah, after 5 minutes, I will take your questions. You can start writing down your questions in the chat, and I will try to go through them one by one, as many as I can. Yeah, and that's it for now. I'll take a 5-minute break. Best say at 2, back at move to 1:25. Okay, I'll be back at 1:25, and I'll answer all your questions at that time. Okay.
عصبة يفتح للناس.
Okay. You can ask your questions now. I'm back now. أول شيء, the one with the two intersection points, I'll explain it again. So when you're solving the simultaneous equations, إنزين, you will solve the simultaneous equations وبيطلع لكم solution. بيطلع لكم two solutions, x1, y1, x2, y2, when you solve one quadratic or one linear. These 2 points of intersection when a line, a straight line, is intersecting مع البارابولا. You will find نقطة هني ونقطة هني. The values هذيل بيكونون the same as the solution of the simultaneous equation. Okay, that's the whole idea. The whole concept of week 7 is to solve a simultaneous equation, and the solution of the equation is the intersection points on the graph. تمام? So if you guys have any questions about any of the weeks, you can go ahead and ask them now, and I will try to cover as many as I can before the end of the session. Insane. Let's see this. This is from worksheet 2. Worksheet 2, everything has already been explained in the video. يعني you can ask a question about worksheet 2, word problems. Which one do you want me to solve? I'll solve one again بس عشان I clarify it. But it was already clarified very clearly وضحته في الفيديو that I have uploaded on YouTube. I went through them all twice, I think, and I solved them both with simultaneous equations using elimination and substitution method. فإذا عندك سؤال معين, I will answer it regarding these, no problem. So after finding the 2 points, we solve them. هو الidea على حسب كيف صيغة السؤال بيكون. It depends on how the question is being asked. فإذا عندكم مثلا يقول prove that these 2 points are actually the solution of this of this equation. فبيعطونكم equation مال parabola مثلا or equation of the line, or you're going to have to find in the case of linear equations, 2 equations of a line. You find the equations of the line, you write your simultaneous equations and then you solve them. And then when you solve the simultaneous equations, the points that you get is going to be the same as the intersection points. يعني they can ask them in many different ways, but you have to just understand in a solution مال a simultaneous equation will give you the intersection points, no matter what question they ask. Excuse me. Okay, Sai, does that make sense? يعني for example, we have let's go to one of the examples we did. See? They will give you, for example, this and the turning point we found to كل هذا. And then there's another equation, يعني another line that's going, for example, through it. For example, going through it like this. And then you're gonna have to find these 2 points. And then you have the equation of this line already, for example. And then so I'm not sure if this is the actual equation for this, but let's say for يعني the sake, يعني this is 3x plus 7, for example. And then it's not going to be correct, but for example. So you'll do a simultaneous equation. First equation is going to be your quadratic equation اللي هو هذا x squared minus x squared sorry, بيكون y equal to minus x squared plus 3x plus 18. زين y is equal to minus x squared plus 3x plus 18. زين second equation will be y equal to 3x plus 7. You know how to solve the simultaneous equation. بيطلع لكم x1 y1 x2 y2, and x1 y1 x2 y2 are going to be these points. Yes, that's how you're going to be solving it, يعني, as an example. Obviously, this isn't actually the solution, and I just made up this equation depending on the equation of the actual line. But that's how you're going to يعني, prove a solution. Okay? Just going to erase this عشان ما يصير confusion, لأن this is not actually true. Okay. Any more questions? Hassan, you want to clarify the word problem a bit more, يعني what your question is about it عشان بس I can clear. Oops. زين عشان I can just show you. زين. I'll just do question 1 very quickly again. I've already explained this question in detail in the video, but I'll do it very quickly again, just question 1, عشان you get the idea. And then, so vendor spends 26 pounds for 100 postage stamps. يعني total is 100 postage stamps. أنا حطيت dollars, but it's pounds, it's the same thing. And then, if X of them are 20p, 20p is the cost of X. Okay. Excuse me. So let me just clarify one point here, very important. Excuse me. So like I said, this is going to be in pounds. Then, so 26 pounds is for 100 postage stamps. For X, it's 20p. For Y, 35p for each Y stamp. So الفكرة إن you do a simultaneous equation to solve it. Now, what is very important you need to know here is 1 pound then is equal to 20 is equal to 100p. A second, بدأ يعلق شوي. Just give me a second. And then, so what you need to know is 1 pound is equal to 100 pence, or you could say 1 pence is equal to 0.01 pound. زين شو معناته هالشيء؟ الربية يعني هاي كأنه نقول ربية تساوي 100 فلس، نفس الفكرة بالضبط. زين فهني يقول لكم 20 فلس زين وهاي 26 ربية. زين هاي الفكرة بالضبط. ف this is like 100 فلس يساوي ربية اللي هو 100 pence يساوي 1 pound. So يعني there is two ways of doing it. ف you could say instead of 26 pounds you could say 2,600 pence gives 100 postage stamps. Okay, so the total number of stamps he spends 26 pounds or 2,600 pence on 100 postage stamps. اشترى X of them for 20 pence يعني each one is 20 pence و Y of them for 35 pence. So the first equation اللي بتكتبونه هو أول شيء ال X وال Y is the number of stamps يعني فال X plus Y is the total number of stamps اللي اشتراهم اللي هو 100. تمام. Each X is 20p, so 20p times X. زين لأن each X يعني إذا عندكم one stamp of X زين 1X أو نقول 1X stamp زين 20 بتدفعون 20 فلس أو 20p for one stamp of X. فإذا عندكم two stamps of X بيكون 20p times 2 اللي هو 40p يعني بما معنى. زين إذا عندكم 3 stamps of X زين of X يعني 3 stamps اشتريته بيكون 3 times 20 وهلا ما جرى. I explained this very clearly in the video. زين so basically if you have X number of stamps بيكون 20 times X زين to find the X value of stamps. نفس الشيء حق ال Y عندنا Y number فبيكون 35 times Y زين is equal to 2,600 اللي هو total price لأن البرايس مال كامل X والبرايس كامل مال Y بيساوي البرايس كامل اللي صرفه على الستامبس. Now you have two equations two simultaneous equations, and you can solve in whichever method you want. That is the whole idea يعني of the questions. Again, يعني this will take some time if I re-explain it, and the explanation I already posted it online very clearly, زين how I took the steps وكل شيء موجود فيهم. Any other questions you might guys have from week 1 to week 7 so I can solve, so I can help you out يعني. If you have, you can feel free to ask. إذا أنت على اللابتوب يعني من اللابتوب, just take a screenshot of the picture or right click copy picture, بعدين come into the message chat, type Control V أو يعني Control V for pasting, or you could just attach a photo. يعني من تحت في attach files and you can upload from this device وبيطلع لكم الصور يعني لو عندك الصورة مسيفة على الكمبيوتر. تمام؟ يعني أنا I don't know which Windows you're using or if the Mac or whatever, بس أنا طريقتي what I usually do is I use the crop اللي snipping tool إنزين يعني just can go type find the snipping tool أضرب new إنزين and then I select a specific photo. Okay, there you go. تمام. So a man is 26 years. Okay, حلو. I copy this image here. Yes, I can. إنزين. فهذا السؤال, a man is 26 years old. 26 years older than his son. After 10 years, he will be 3 times as old. Okay, step by step, we will solve this. And then, so the first step is we need to know المان or we need to يعني نقول المان is equal to x والson is equal to مثلا y. زين, just so we can solve it mathematically نستخدم variables that will make it easier. So a man is 26 years older than his son. So what do we know? زين, المان يعني man which is x يساوي عمره 26 زائد عمر الصن which is y. زين, that's what this means. 26 plus y. This is the first equation. The second thing, they say after 10 years he will be 3 times. هني التريك يقولون after 10 years. So after 10 years, sorry يعني وايد قاعد يعلق ما ادري ليش. After 10 years, زين. Second. After 10 years, المان عمره شو بيكون؟ عمره الحين اللي هو x زائد 10. يعني إذا أنا مثلا عمري الحين 20 مثلا، زين. بعد 10 سنوات عمري بيكون 30. ف x plus 10 والsun انزين الsun هاي المان والsun is going to be y plus 10. بعد 10 سنوات الsun بيكون عمره مثلا كان عمره 5 بعد 10 سنوات 15. اوكي ف that's it, that's basically it. الحين يقول لكم after 10 years the man will be 3 times as old as his son. فالman after 10 years is going to be 3 times his son after 10 years. زين after 10 years. ففي هالحالة يعني فلو نعوض الاكس والواي هني x plus 10 حق المان يساوي 3 times y plus 10 حق الصن لأن هاي بعد 10 سنوات. و this is your second equation. ف إذا ردينا كتبنا الحين بيكون عندنا two simultaneous equations and we can solve them. Clear? So x plus y is equal to 3 y plus 10. If we يعني بس we simplify sorry x plus 10 مو x plus y. زين x plus 10 is equal to 3 y plus 10. Okay, and then we can simplify. For x plus 10 is equal to نعوض 3 أو and we distribute نوزع 3 times y plus 3 times 10 which is 30. زين لأن this is 3 times 10. Okay. بعدين you can just يعني خلاص then you can start solving it like in a شو اسمه simultaneous equation يعني. فعندكم equation 1 is x is equal to 2x plus y. إذا خذينا 10 زين مثلا حطيناه هني. The second equation بيكون x is equal to x is equal to 20 sorry x is equal to 3y plus 30 minus 10 أو يعني اللي هو بما معناه plus 20 زين. فنقدر نقول x is equal to 3y plus 20 مثلا زين. And then you can solve this in whichever method you want, elimination, substitution. So x equal 26 plus y هذا equation 1 و x is equal to 3y plus 20 هذا equation 2. Solve the simultaneous equations. أنا مثلا I will do substitution for x لأن it's going to be very easy. ف 3y plus 20 is going to be equal to 26 plus y. What I did is I substituted هذا الx اللي تحت من equation 2 زين. I substituted the x into this, so I put this value into the x here, for 3y plus 20 equal 26 plus y. And then you can solve for y. 3y minus y, we're just taking this y, taking it to this side, and the 20 will take it to the other side. 26 minus 20. And then 2y is equal to 26 minus 20 is 6, y is equal to 3. What does وبعدين عشان نحصل x لازم نرد نعوض. بس what does y represent again? Y is the age of the sun. لا, sun is equal to y. فهاي you have to make sure you remember that. يعني عشان شي تكتبون أول step المان equal to x والsun equal to y عشان when you're solving you don't get lost. فالsun is equal to 3 years old. زين. وبعدين نعوض of any of the equations. فمثلا x equal to 3y plus 20 نعوض ال y equal 3 عشان نحصل x. ف x is equal to 3 times 3 plus 20. x is equal to 9 plus 20. x is equal to 29. فman is equal to 29 years old. زين نشوف بعد سؤال. Okay. I believe this is week 1, week 2, one of those. زين. Write an expression for the perimeter of the triangle to simplify then simplify the expression. زين. فشنو البارامتر؟ parameter of any shape البارامتر ماله هو الsides هذيله. This is the parameter. The addition of all these sides, this is what they call the parameter. Okay? So to do that, we simply just do 2x plus 3, side number 1. زين. Side number 1 plus side number 2 نقولوا هاي side number 2 اللي هو x plus side number 3. Let's call this side number 3. This is side number 2. Side number 3 is 3x plus 2, which is 3. And we simplify for 2x plus 3 plus 3 plus x plus 3x plus 2. We group we group الx's ويا بعض other numbers ويا بعض. ف 2x plus x plus 3x plus 3 plus 2. Simply what I did was I took x هني, I put it here, and I just to group it ويا x's. وفاينل equation بيكون 2x plus x is 3x plus 3x is 6x. يعني 2 plus 1 plus 3 is 6x plus 3 plus 2 is 5. Yes, and that's it. That's the simplified expression of the parameter. زين. نشوف السؤال اللي بعده. 1 second, let me just turn this off, close it and reopen it لأنه وايد قاعد يعلق. One second. زين. Okay. exact same idea هني. The exact same idea. زين. We have أكبر هذا شوي. زين. We need to find the parameter. مثل ما قلت البارامتر is the sides. زين. These sides are known as the perimeter. Okay. So let's call this 1, 2, 3, 4. زين. So 1 is x plus y plus plus 2, which is 2x plus 3y, plus 3, which is also again x plus y, plus 4, which is again 2x plus 3y. طبعا انتوا you have to know ان the sides of a rectangle يعني the opposite sides are equal in side. This is why these are 2x plus y, 3y, 2x plus 3y. So another way of writing this you could say is 2 times x plus y, لأن عندنا 2 of them. This is the first one and this is the second one. Plus 2 times 2x plus 3y. This is another way of writing it يعني لأن like I said in the case of a rectangle, for a rectangle. لأن in the case of a rectangle the length and width are equal on opposite sides طبعا. Then we can simplify either one of these equations. For x plus y plus 2x plus 3y plus x plus y plus 2x plus 3y. وبعدين نجمع الاكسز بروحهم فبيستوي x plus 2x plus x plus 2x والوايز بروحهم y plus 3y plus طبعا plus y plus 3y plus y plus 3y. If we want to simplify this, x and 2x is 3x plus x plus 2x, so 3x plus 3x, 6x plus 3 plus y is 4y plus y 5y plus 3y 8y. And done. كلير؟ من اللي سأل حوراء كلير لا؟ سهل واضح. تمام. Any more questions you guys have؟ تبوني أوضح لكم إياه. زين, my advice is to do the mock test اللي أظني they uploaded online on Moodle. Let me just double check. So view course. I'm not sure exactly when حاطينه. Let me see. Assessment week يمكن. Week 7. Okay, week 7. بسم الله وايد في اشياء. هذا practice test. This is it لا practice test هني. This one practice test. Yes. Okay. Study very well all the topics in week 1 to 7. Total mark in the mid exam is 40. Duration is 2 hours. We may not include some questions from some topics, but they may be included in the real midterm exam. Some topic يعني بما معناه مو بس الأسئلة اللي تشوفونها هني بالضبط بتي, يمكن أسئلة ثانية من the same topics بيون. Some topics are repeated more than once in this practice test. The aim of this practice test is to familiarize each student about the tools you may use. يعني هاي بيراويكم كيف تتعلمون تستخدمون الموديل يوم بتحلون. The question is the same for all students, but in the real mid بيكون في different versions طبعا. والباسورد 1 2 3 ما نحتاج password. 90 people can complete the job in 40 days, and how many days will take 30? This is proportionality. You guys should know how to do this. فمثل ما تشوفون يعني في بعضهم بيكونون this is direct ولا indirect, والأجوبة زين you have to do the calculation. الX you have to put the value. زين solve the simultaneous equations. Combine these two equations and choose the correct standard form for the quadratic equation. بيكون عندكم options, everything like that. And I'm just looking through them. شوفوا الجرافs هني will be very clear. يعني بتقدرون you choose 2 easy points for plotting or for y-intercept or for slope وكل هالسوالف و equation of the line. Convert 97% to decimal. You guys should know that يعني already. هني قاعد يسألكم ال y-intercept, x-intercept, turning points. You should understand what that means من الجراف. ال y-intercept is intersecting the y-axis, x-intercept intersecting the x-axis, or turning point is the point in the middle here. You just take the point. فمثلا 216 is the turning point in this condition. This I already solved. I showed you how to do it. Vertical line, you know it's going to be x is equal to minus 3 e for x equal minus 3 مو y لأن you're on the x axis. This is how you know the equation of the graph. If it's a vertical line, it's going to be x. If it's horizontal, it's going to be y. If it's يعني بما معناه it has to intersect the x axis. إنزين. at where does it intersect? At x equal minus 3. فالجواب simply is just x equal minus 3. إنزين. How do you know? You take 2 points, find the slope, all of that. Here the turning point is the point where the turning is happening. For turning point شو معناته؟ معناته وين الكيرف exactly starts turning. So it starts turning here. يعني لو تشوفون هني it's going up, بعدين it stops, بعدين it goes down. So where it changes direction, this is called the turning point. Okay? Axis of symmetry is 2, where it goes right through the turning point. The axis of symmetry has to go, it's the exact vertical line that goes through the turning point. That's all it is. Okay? ففي هالحالة يعني ال x equal 2 is your axis of symmetry. زين نروح نكمل نشوف أسئلة ثانية. Factorize. شوفوا يعني هني الفactorize you have to know how to do factorizing. مو ما تقدرون تستخدمون بس mode 5.3. I don't know if you guys remember how to factorize, but I will just try to give some pointers about factorizing. لأن it's I'll show you يعني my technique لأن I hate factorizing I know how it feels. x squared minus 2x minus 15. X squared minus 2x minus 15. Okay. First step in factorizing, you're looking at this number. This is the very first step. زين. You're going to look at this number 15. What are the lowest common factors of 15? بما معناه what two numbers you multiply you get 15. So 1 and 15. 15, how do you do this? You go to the calculator, you do 15 divided by 1, obviously it's going to be 15. So when 15 divided by 2, is it a real number? يعني ما في decimal ما في شيء. لا, تروحون للرقم اللي بعده. 15 divided by 3, is it a real number? Yes, يستوي 3 and 5. 15 divided by 4, لا. 15 divided by 5, yes. 5 3. لو تلاحظون بعدين يرد ينعكس. فخلاص لو يرد ينعكس you don't need to consider these, but you look at the numbers يعني 1, 15, 3 and 5. Okay? So now we have these. Now what's the point of finding these? احنا الحين نبغى نشوف اذا ال 15 وال 3 وال 5 انزين ال 15 وال 1 قصدي وال 3 وال 5. When you add or subtract them, do they equal to minus 2? Well, now we are going to look at this number. 15 plus 1 is equal to 16. غلط. 15 minus 1 is equal to 15. غلط. 1 minus 15 is equal to minus 15. Sorry, 14. Minus 14. غلط. إنزين we go to the second number. نفس الشيء. 5 plus 3 is equal to 8. غلط. 5 minus 3 is equal to 2. Positive 2. هني minus فغلط. 3 minus 5 is equal to minus 2. Yes, correct. So we select this one. Okay? This is the correct one. This is what we select. اللي هو 3 و minus 5. إنزين. But now when you go to factoring, إنزين, بتكتبون x plus 3 x minus 5. Very simple. إنزين. Again, I will repeat. تاخذون ال 15 هذا. إنزين. Don't care about the sign. أنتوا بس خذوا ال 15. Okay. بعطيكم مثال. الساين إذا كان هني minus, very simply, if this sign is minus, it's معناته يعني one of them has to be minus, one of them has to be plus. If the sign كان plus, معناته both have to be minus or both have to be plus. This is what you need to know. Just to clarify, this sign over here, if minus of negative, both, لا مو both, one has to be negative. يعني one of the numbers has to be negative. إنزين؟ يعني one of the factors. If positive, this sign, same sign. If it's positive, both have to be positive or both are negative. يعني يا اثنيناتهم positive يا اثنيناتهم negative. Okay. 3x minus 2. How to solve this in algebraic expressions? Okay, I will solve that now. I think that will be the last question. بس أهم شيء هني الpoint you understood لا. فهني plus or minus opposites. يعني one of them is plus, one of them is minus. ليش؟ لأنه one has to be negative. طبعا you will figure it out by doing this شو اسمه calculations هني. يعني when you do 3 minus 5, 5 minus 3, basically you add these and then you do each one minus the other. Whatever you get اللي هو في هالحالة سوينا 3 minus 5 يعني 3 and minus 5. فالجواب يكون x plus 3 x minus 5 for this solution. Okay. إن شاء الله يكون one of them. x plus 3 x minus 5 اللي هو هذا. Okay. إنزين كان في سؤال 3x minus 2 over بس اتاكد ان هذا السؤال انزين is equal to x plus 6 over x plus 4. This is what you want me to solve صح حسن؟ This equation. انزين to solve this equation what you have to do is something called cross multiplication, which I'm pretty sure you all know. انزين so you'll multiply these with each other. So what will happen is 3x minus 2 times x plus 4. زين لأنه we're multiplying 3x minus 2 ويا x plus 4, it's equal to 2 أو x plus 6 times 2x minus 1. The order does not matter إذا واحد أول ولا ثاني, بس أهم شيء you know you're multiplying the top here with the bottom here and the top here with the bottom here and you're equating them to each other. وبعدين خلاص توزيع, توزعون ال 3x, توزعون ال minus 2, توزعون هني بعد ال x, توزعون ال 6 و you start solving. فبيكون 3x times x plus 3x times 4 minus 2 times x minus 2 times 4 equal to x times 2x, x plus x times minus 1 plus 6 times 2x plus 6 into minus 1. Simplifying 3x squared, لأن x times x is x squared, plus 3 times 4, 12x, minus and plus becomes minus, minus 2x, minus and plus becomes minus, minus 2 times 4 is 8, is equal to, same thing, x times 2x is 2x squared, and x times x is x squared, plus or minus used to be minus, minus x, x times 1 is x, plus 6 times 2 is 12x, 6 times minus 1, positive times negative becomes negative, minus 6. And then you simplify and solve the quadratic equation. Let's just simplify slowly step by step عشان تشوفون. 12x minus 2 is 10x minus 8 زين is equal to 2x squared minus x plus 12x is plus 11x minus 6. Now you move all of these to the other side. You move all of them to this side. زين so 3x squared, and I'm just skipping a step here, but so we 3x squared minus 2x squared minus 2x squared plus 10x minus 11x, then it's positive here, it becomes negative there, minus 8, minus 6 becomes plus 6 on the other side. All of this will be equal to 0. Simplifying this, 3x squared minus 2x squared is just x squared. 10x minus 11x becomes minus x. Minus 8 plus 6 becomes minus 2 is equal to 0. Find x1, x2, and solve the equation. And done. Okay? Clear, Hassan? Okay. Inshallah, this was very helpful. This session was recorded بعد, inshallah I'll upload it to YouTube and I'll have Sara email you all of it, or I'll just post it also in the meeting chat, or you can access it أصلا through Teams, لأن it's recorded through Teams in the meeting chat, but I also like to upload to YouTube because it's easier for people to access على YouTube. يعطيكم العافية, and I hope يعني sessions معاي, if you even attended my previous sessions, it was very helpful. I really hope in شو اسمه إن I helped out a lot و I answered وشرحي كان واضح and you guys understood. I wish you all the best with your exam. One more note I want to put tomorrow اللي هو يوم الأحد أنا بكون في الجامعة في campus A في building 24 من 8 الصبح. I will be there until 1 I think لأن عندكم exams separated between 8 and 1 كل حد سكاشن مالهم. Just double check. I will be there just to support يعني any students إذا عندكم أسئلة تقدرون تجون building 24 which is the student council office زين in campus A. You can look at the campus map online on polytechnic.ph or wherever and you can find me there. You can come there. I'll be sitting there either in the meeting room or in my office. And if you guys have any questions بخصوص الماth, you can come and I will try to help as many people as you can. Like I said, I'll be there from 8 to 1. يعني basically من الصبح من 8 الصبح بكون هناك لين أظني بعضكم عندكم 8:30 exam, some of you 10:30 some of you 1:30 or something like that. I don't remember the exact schedule. I will be there all day for whoever يعني needs, has a question today or tomorrow يعني they're solving and they have a difficulty. You can just come and meet me there. تمام. Again, I wish you all the best with your studies, with your exam, and